Hey, heard you're moving to Singapore. Have you ever been before?
No.
No? When was the last time you went to Asia?
Never been actually.
Bold. Are you taking language classes or anything?
No. They speak English.
Oh. Good luck with Singapore.
We made it! For those of you who haven't heard or haven't kept up, Asher and I moved to Singapore and we're gonna be here for the next 3 years for my job. So we're gonna take you along on our journey while we're here, just telling you about what it's like to live in Singapore, and we plan on doing a lot of travel around Asia during the time we're here.
We're gonna try to structure this so that you can follow along how we got here, you know, what is Singapore like, what language they speak, English by the way. Probably want to learn a bit about Singapore, what our life is like here, how life in general is here, that kind of thing.
Cue the travel montage.
Travel montage.
Goodbye, Wisconsin!
Probably give a little context about Singapore, tell you a bit about it. I think a lot of people are curious about a lot of aspects. It's about 1 degree north of the equator, so rather equatorial. It is a hot, humid climate year-round. There are not seasons besides the rainy season, the monsoon season. In Fahrenheit, high of like 88 most days. Precipitation, it rains like
Almost
most
every day.
days.
Yeah. Like, we're not really in rainy season right now, we think.
We're not.
Based on talking with
No, I'll put a chart
other
of
folks.
when it rains in what month.
But it still rains almost every single day, usually for like an hour, sometimes like 2. But it's hard to know when it's coming. So one thing that's really different is in the US, you usually have like a really good idea of the forecast to know what time it'll rain and what days it'll rain. I added to like my phone widgets the precipitation, and it'll just say Sunday. And you never know when exactly it's gonna rain. You just know that.
Yeah, it'll say like, you know, 40% chance for like 5 hours in a row.
So a pretty big change for us since we moved here is the food situation. When we were back in the States, we were cooking most nights and we would let ourselves go out to eat maybe like once or twice a week. But here, it's incredibly normal to eat out almost every single day, and it's because the prices are cheaper.
I guess we don't really know what native Singaporeans do, but they do have something called hawker centers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it's tightly packed, cafeteria style. Many different shops. There will be a shop is a very small stall. It's just they have a little kitchen area to cook, and then there's shared seating areas, and then also you just take your tray when you're done and you go put it in like a shared tray put away area.
We see a lot of tourists in the hawker centers. It's also just a great budget option, so that's something that we're working on navigating now, because we could both eat a meal for $10 if we go to the right stall. Combined. Like today, we both had some dumpling noodle soups that were only $4 a bowl.
$4.50 each.
Yeah. So really easy to save money that way and reduce buying groceries. So part of the climate with us living on the equator is having fresh produce. It's harder to keep it fresh for as long. So as we were getting settled and starting to figure out just like a pattern for a living, obviously you have to go shopping. Shopping is a big part. Gotta get the essentials.
Shopping like to buy things you need, not like
fun shopping, like toilet paper shopping.
Yeah.
And that has actually been significantly harder than I anticipated. it's not as easy to find stores here. So we don't have like a Walmart, we don't have a Meijer, we don't have a Costco, we don't have like a one-stop shop for all of your essentials and groceries.
Kind of.
You kind of have to split it.
There are a couple that are more general, but not to the extent that is in America.
You have to split it up a bit, and it's also really hard to locationally find the stores. So by searching it in maps, it may appear in one place on the map, but it's actually maybe like further down the block than it shows. So you have to know how to read the address, look for what floor is it on the address. That's been my personal vice. So they have the bus, they have what's called the MRT, it's their version of the subway, and we take that regularly to get around. As I've started my job, I have to go to the hospitals and other clinics and stuff that are around Singapore, and I'm regularly taking the MRT for like 20-25 minutes to get where I need to go, and it's super convenient, and I think it's been one of my favorite parts of Singapore. But they have a lot of rules in the MRT. So they have a lot of regulations around food and drink, and it's to keep it really clean. But
Singapore loves to be clean. It's kind of its thing.
So it's really nice because compared to like New York subways, the subway is incredibly clean. There's not trash everywhere. There aren't stains everywhere. It's not sticky when you're standing on the floor. But you will be fined if you're drinking or eating on the MRT, and they have placards everywhere that tell you about the fines for different behaviors that they don't want you to exhibit. And one of them that's really interesting that doesn't have a fine is you are not allowed to have a durian. Just in general, in the MRT, no durians. And that's just something that's just like really tickled me. It's just been really funny. No durians. While David was here and we were fresh to the scene, we made sure to do a lot of the common touristy things in Singapore. So that's things like going and seeing the Merlion. We went to Marina Bay Sands and we had a rooftop dinner, which was super cool. And Asher and David took a day and went out to a temple and checked that out. And we also went to Gardens by the Bay. Thanks for tuning in to our first episode. We plan to continue these, so please stick along for our journey. We're gonna have different kinds of content. Some of it's gonna be day in the life, some of it's gonna be travel content. If you have any questions about what life is like, drop a comment and we'll take a look and try and incorporate that in our upcoming videos. Miss you all, bye. Should we have do we wanna think about our outro?